I think we're back for another episode, maybe kind of a little bit.
No, we are not.
Oh, well, fair enough. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
See you on the flip side.
That'd be the shortest fucking episode ever.
That'd be funny. Like, new episode out, guys. It's just that. What the fuck is that?
We would not purposely try and disappoint you like that.
I would.
God damn it.
We need at least one bad guy on this podcast. It's going to be me.
Well, I mean, we have one. His name is Uncle Cotton.
Well, he doesn't show up.
Oh, wait, no, it's, I forgot. That's one nickname, but his other nickname is Daddy Fat Sacks.
Yeah, he doesn't show up, though.
Daddy Fat Sacks, when are you coming back on, you bastard?
Where the fucking drag him here?
Your name is attached to our paranormal investigation company. You must be on the goddamn podcast.
Yeah. He wants exclusive director rights to the fucking podcast?
Right? Maybe it's because he's a Skinwalker.
No.
Or a Wendigo.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about my favorite paranormal fucking cryptid this week, which is Bam
Sasquatch.
Margera. No, it's Bam Margera.
Nah, fair enough.
It's right around the woods somewhere. No, but we have...
I thought that was just at that point he was going to make a new TV show, Mountain Bam.
I mean, he literally told us in the fucking intro of Evil of Bam, what does he do? Whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, that hasn't changed.
Running through the forest is what he wants.
Fuck it. Gotta let them enjoy themselves somehow, I guess.
Oh, man. That dude needs help.
Yeah, get that help, Bam. I know you probably don't listen to this, but if you do, on the off chance, seek that help. We love you.
Imagine you get a fucking cease and desist from him.
I mean, we haven't used any of his trademarks, so I think we're good.
We use his heartogram. Well, it's not even his. He was just really oddly obsessed with fucking him.
I mean, they are good.
Yeah, but I mean, that was kind of like creepy obsessed, though.
True. But in trying to prepare for this episode, I think we've discovered that it is insanely hard to try and dig into Skinwalkers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even that in Wendigos, too. It's kind of like hard to find fucking videos for him and shit.
Because Skinwalkers, it's typically like noises and, you know, your voice being mimicked back to you, but there's never really any video showing a Skinwalker.
And the ones that are like super fake, like you can tell it's a dude in a morph suit running around.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you think about it, Skinwalkers came from Native American beliefs.
Yeah.
But is it something that they saw at one point? Like they legitimately saw a Skinwalker?
I would assume so.
Or is it like an urban legend where, you know, they made it up to try and, or like a lot of stories like, oh, you know, my parents used to tell me if you don't go to bed, if you stay up playing video games all night, the devil's going to come and get you.
Jesus, they didn't even progress to that. They just fucking jumped straight to the devil.
Well, I mean, my mom's super fucking Catholic.
It's like, where do you need room to build up? Like, oh, well, that's not real. It's like, well, if you do it a second night, then like the boogeyman's going to come get you. You don't jump straight to the devil.
Well, I mean, it's that or the typical, you know, during a nice stormy, windy day. Oh, if you guys go outside and don't stay inside, La Llorona's going to get you.
That one always did get me, though. I hated that one.
Well, my mom would always open the window a little bit so you'd hear that whistling, and she's like, oh, see, there's her cries.
It was just your dad on the outside whistling?
Right.
He's like, oh my God, there, look, La Llorona. It's just your dad in a wig and a white dress running in front of your yard.
Right.
Oh, shit.
But it's like, you know, those are based off events that happened that I believe there's documented proof on that one, actually.
Yeah.
But with Skinwalkers, I haven't been able to really find legit documented proof. I mean, there's some stuff from Skinwalker Ranch, but
that's iffy at best.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so tough. It's like, again, is this thing out there, or is it one of those, it was made up to, you know, make their kids listen or to prevent the hunters from going into areas that they didn't want?
What I think it is I think it's something that's real and that's out there. But you also have to remember, a Skinwalker isn't just like a mindless creature. A Skinwalker is a person, or like a fucking, like an evil witch doctor.
Yeah.
That chose to do that. So they retain the intelligence that they have. So they're not going to just walk around and get caught on camera. That kind of seems like a fucking bad idea. Like, if they catch you, then they're going to fucking hunt you down. Like, if there's proof that it's you, you're going to get hunted down because a lot of people don't like you going around fucking with them and doing shit like that.
Well, I mean, my only question, though, is, like, even Sasquatch, there's the Patterson Gimli footage, I believe it's called. That's, like, the most renowned video.
Oh, where he's, like, running and he, like, jumps and looks back?
Yeah, so there's, you know, there's at least one good, decent video, but one ounce of evidence towards it besides just all the, because you hear the talking, you hear the voices, you hear all that with Bigfoot, Sasquatch sightings,
but at the same time, there's a lot of other shit that has the exact same thing where it's like one piece of footage or a couple pieces like footage or like pictures and shit. Then there's always somebody who can disclaim it for like some reason, like the picture of the Loch Ness Monster, where it's just the head coming out of the lake.
Yeah.
Supposedly that it was actually like a circus that was posted up like nearby, and they just let the elephants out to swim into the lake, and that's just one of their trunks coming out of the water, supposedly that was. Yeah, and then supposedly with like the fucking actual like the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot that they caught on picture, that was supposedly when it got analyzed, like all the movements were like too human. So that's why they're like, oh, it's just a guy in a fucking ape suit.
But I mean, that's the thing. I don't know, because then you can go back on that, and technically they are considered a humanoid creature, so they would move like a person. Yeah. Just a very big person.
You know which ones really fucking, like, really get to me? Like, the videos?
Which one?
Duendes, like the evil Mexican dwarfs, like the gnomes.
Oh, yeah, those are really weird.
I gotta find a handful of videos, but there's one that always fucking freaks me out. Whereas these kids, it's like in Mexico, it's like these little poor kids are like playing like soccer inside. Yeah. Like kicking the ball, and then at one time it flies a little too high, and one of the kids goes to grab it from where it bounces, and you see like a little dude run from one crack in the wall, and then run to like between the stove, and it stops and looks at him, and then it fucking takes off. And I was like, that's editing. That's amazing editing for Mexico, because the kids are like, fuck, like scared. But there's always shit like that. Like, you don't know what's edited and what isn't.
I just wish we could catch one glimpse of a Skinwalker, because I mean, I've heard of sightings here in Arizona. I've heard of some up at the Casa Grande Domes.
Yeah, that was what's his face, Brandon. He had that story where him and his brother are drinking out by the domes, and then there's like a wrecked little house, and then they were hearing like calling from there, and they show up and they see a pair of eyes, and then they start taking out, and then like, what the fuck is that? They start hearing howling from all around them, and they decide just to fucking run off.
Yeah, I just wish we could get some sort of video of them. Like, there's got to be a way to set up some sort of static camera in certain areas where, you know, their activity is known to be high. Yeah. Attach battery packs, set up a full-on just surveillance camera, like something.
Like I said, Skinwalkers are intelligent beings, so they're going to notice shit like that. They're going to be like, oh, well, there's a fucking camera there. Let me destroy it real quick.
I mean, would they, though? Because there's some people that go out and they don't even notice cameras.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, I've heard of, I think we've both seen the same video. There's that one dude that's on the horse. Yeah. Where he's like getting his name called and
the horse starts fucking freaking out before he hears anything. Yeah. Yeah, that one was a fucking weird one. That one, I would generally assume that that's actually like a Skinwalker or some shit. Because that's more than enough proof. Like, because the horse starts freaking out even before you hear anything. It's like trying to turn away from the trail. Yeah. And there's that one, and then there's that other one I've been trying to find to show you.
Mm-hmm.
where the dude he's walking towards like the little abandoned house that's by, I think it's by Skinwalker Ranch too. I think it's the same person. And he stops because he sees something move inside the thing, and like real like fake sounding like help me, help me. He goes, nah, fuck that. And the dog starts barking like crazy too, and starts trying to like run away. It's like help me, help me. And then he turns away. He's like fuck that, and he starts walking away. And he says, no, come back, like real like robotic sounding. I was like, that's crazy. There's a couple of them I've seen, but I'm not able to fucking find them anymore since TikTok changed their format. Because before we used to do like in the search thing, you can type in what you're looking for and they'll bring up a whole bunch of different videos related to that.
Yeah.
And now it's only like users live and shit like that. I was like, it's fucking stupid. But there's a couple of them that I was trying to show you, like that weird goat that was outside the fucking door. And the people's like, that's not a normal goat. And its eyes are all wide. It's like, nah, and like it's fucking at the door.
I think that's just a kind of special goat.
That's a special boy. And then there's the one where it's like a black ram. It's standing on its back legs and it's like walking, but it's like hopping. I was like, I mean, I've seen them do that a couple times. They'll just get on their back legs and they'll go for a headbutt, but I guess this one learn to walk on its back feet. It was like walking a chicken. It was like leading a chicken into the coop.
So my question is, there's been several occasions where there's strange activity going on in a house and people hear their relatives, themselves, someone call out in that voice to them. Would you consider that demonic, or would you consider that more of a skinwalker, possibly in the area or around?
That depends on where they're located, because I know like in the Appalachian Mountains, there's a lot of things where people are like, oh, they're doublegangers. Like, it's like an evil doubleganger that tries to just like fucking lure you out and kill you.
Yeah.
I showed you like this dude does like short films on that shit, like on TikTok. He has like little short videos on him. And one of the videos is where his daughter's like, oh, I'm going to go play outside, Dad. And the dude's like, all right, cool. He's like, just remember, leave your shoes outside.
Yeah, and I remember
don't come back.
that one.
Yeah, I showed you that one. It's like, don't come back after dark. And then it cuts it like the dude's sitting down to watch TV. And then it cuts to like 2 a.m. or something like that. And then he hears a whistle and he's like, he gets up, he's like, huh? And like he can't find his daughter. So he goes outside because supposedly he hears his daughter calling him. And he walked outside, which I guess was the trap, because he looks down and his daughter's shoes are like right on the floor. He's like, fuck. And then he looks and it's like him, but like his jaw's all unhinged. He's like, and he tells his daughters like, babies, like stay inside, like lock your door. And in the morning, call grandma and tell her that dad found himself. She'll know what to do. And then he like closes the door and he locks it behind him and he unscrews the bulb. That's where the thing ends. I was like, damn, that one got me because I was watching that like I want to say like I woke up like at 3 a.m, like on a Tuesday. And I was like right before my alarm went off for work. I was like, let me check TikTok real quick. Let's see what's going on. And I saw that one. I was like, well, I'm not going to sleep now. But I think that's more like doppelganger kind of shit. But
Doppelganger?
Doppelganger? Double
I was like, doubleganger? What is a doubleganger?
It's when you gang twice.
Oh, no. Gang.
You leave your gang and then you come back.
But now seeing that one to me just seemed very, I don't know, that one seemed fake to me.
Well, yeah, that one was meant to be fake. That's just like a scary story clip thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, man. There's a lot of just weird shit that you can't explain. And there's a lot of just like creepy shit that has like some proof to it. There's always going to be people that try to disclaim it. Like, oh, well, that's what this is. This is this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. You're starting to sound like you work for the feds.
So my question is, where here in our town, which is vastly wide and there's a few reservations near here, do you think we'd have to go to even possibly hear Skinwalker activity?
I don't know if we'll find Skinwalker, but we'll find something if we go down to the, what is it, that Hona Autumn? The reservation that's here?
Yeah.
That one. That's when I was driving, when I saw that old dude and that old lady walking, and I pulled over to give them a ride.
Smell of roses?
Yep, and the fucking car filled with the smell of roses, and then they were fucking gone. Like, there's nowhere these guys can go. They were like walking by the road, and the rest of the thing is like not forest, but it's like a bunch of like trees, mesquites and shit. Like they can't go anywhere.
Unless they want to get stabbed by cactus.
Not even that, dude. I was like, there's nowhere for them to go. It's like an open little plain. I would have seen them if they would have gone somewhere.
So my question is, do you think that could have been Skinwalker related?
No. I think that might have just been somebody who died on the road, since the cemetery's like 2 minutes from there. I was like, that's what crossed my mind. That's why I don't drive through there at night anymore. But one of the Brandon, he had told me that about the reservation. I don't remember if he said it was down here or where he's from. That he was driving through the reservation. They have like a patch of grass where like they farm shit. There's a bunch of cows eating, and he stopped to look at the cows, and there's one that looked a lot bigger than the others, and he looked a little off. But that one was like hyper focusing on him. Like all the other ones are just eating, doing their own thing, but this one's like really like self-aware of what's going on. Like it was just watching him, and whenever he moved, it's following him, like just with its head and its eyes following him. I was like, that maybe was a Skinwalker. That you should just be careful with.
Well, so I mean, there is a one kind of down by my parents' house where it's weird because they have Bosqua in the one area, and then you go further back and it turns into TO.
Yeah.
But TO is also, so if you're going out Ajo, heading to Brosif's,
yeah.
If you keep going down and just following that down, I believe it's called Cells. That is mass, like TO area.
Yeah.
I only know because I've been there once with the HVAC to go deliver to the school. But there's big ass area of res down there. So that might have been one of them, because I don't know what else. Because he was from like further up north, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it was like Flagstaff or some shit.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't know what's out there. But that's one thing I wonder, too, is do you think a Skinwalker has ever, to try and lure someone up, been to the graveyard and using whatever, because I guess technically they would be a form of magic?
Sorta.
I guess, or
so,
voodoo-esque, something of that nature.
Yeah, it's more like voodoo-based. It's like Native American voodoo. It's like, I think, don't quote me on this, I'm just from like top of my head where I think I remember.
Yeah.
They have to purposely kill somebody, and then they have to kill an animal and wear the pelt of the animal that they want to turn into, and that's how they do that. Or like some form, like part of the hoof or some shit. But that's how they turn into that. They don't just like, to quote D&D, they don't just wild shape into it.
Right.
Nerd stuff.
So my thing is, do you think they've ever like went across a cemetery and used whatever spirituality, native voodoo type thing to tap into that body or that person's like essence or spirit and be able to tap into that voice to lure people out? Like if they visit the cemetery at night.
That I don't know. I would assume that they would have had to know the person to know what their voice sounds like. But at the same time, you'll see videos like where people, they're like, oh, well, we're investigating the Skinwalker at night. And then you hear their own voice, but they haven't been like shouting out or anything. They've just been like talking into the camera.
Yeah.
And you hear the voice. I was like, I don't know, man. That's that I would like to meet somebody who says they're a Skinwalker and see what actually happens. But at the same time, if they are actually able to do that shit, I think I'd freak out.
I would be.
There's certain shit that I won't fuck with. Like, I know I say, like, oh, fuck that a lot on here. But I have hard lines on shit that I will not do. I will not do the Ouija board. If there's like, oh, well, this is like a demonic haunted house, I'm like, I'm not doing that either. Skinwalkers, I will not do either. And then that fucking summoning doll that we were talking about the other day. Well, the other episode. I don't remember what it's called. Where you build your own fucking person.
Oh, the tulpa?
Yeah, I will not do that either.
Yeah, I won't do a tulpa, and I won't do a Ouija board. Those are really my hard limits.
I will not do anything that involves demons.
That's the thing, though. Any haunted location that you go to, you never know what the entity could be.
I don't know, because when we went to St. Luke's, I was like, oh, ghost. That did not feel like a ghost. Like,
well, I mean, remember they said there was like the smell of like sulfur and rotting meat and shit
coming from that
periodically.
Yeah, coming
where
from
the hole is.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and I mean, that place is just a breeding ground of fucking death if you think about it. It went from a fucking pneumonia. No, that was it. Tuberculosis ward.
Yep.
It went from a tuberculosis ward to a fucking elderly living.
Home. Yeah. Assisted living.
Which is just like death 24/7. There's no way that fucking ground isn't fucking desecrated at some point.
One way, you know what I just thought of?
What's up?
Technically, majority of this area was, hundreds of years ago, Native American land.
Yeah.
So who's to say we can't even be chilling here in our houses and skinwalkers be roaming around?
We don't. That's the fucking thing, is we really don't know what's going on.
That's why I really would love to go to a place that says there's skinwalkers.
Yeah.
And, of course, a group of us armed, ready to go, because I'm sorry, if you're a physical being, a gun's gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, if they're able to turn into shit, like, I don't know if a handgun's gonna be able to fucking take out, like, a grizzly bear.
Get enough rounds, center mass or near the head, yeah, you're golden. So if it's charging and you just point straight, hold that aim and shoot.
Let's say let's say that skinwalkers go by like movie werewolf logic, like when you kill them, they revert back to human. How the fuck are you gonna explain that to the cops? Why there's a dead dude and then you're fucking the same amount of the fucking all the rounds inside the body are belonging to your gun?
GoPro. Record
I don't
the
know,
whole
man.
thing.
At the same time, that doesn't seem like I'll stand up like, oh, well, you probably just edited it. How will we edit it? We're just here, but they're always gonna be like, oh, well, they're never gonna take the supernatural into account. And they're like, oh, it's only logical.
No, but at the same time, they can run that SD card and see if any edits have been done or if it's the original MP4.
I don't know, because with that, I feel like it would just be... There would probably be something. If it's magic, I'm assuming it's not going to capture it on fucking film. Or it's going to, like, manipulate it to be like, oh, well, this is what it saw. Or this is what the camera caught. Just a fucking guy running at you.
I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to go to a place and not necessarily taunt it, but just sit and listen. Maybe talk amongst each other. Have, like, 4 or 5 people go, so it's not just... 2 people in the woods with a skinwalker. But, get enough people to go sit and talk. But that's kind of the background purpose in hopes that you at least hear your own voice or something mimicked to you.
Yeah.
That way it's more of a...
No, because at that point...
it's a safer excursion.
No, because isn't it if it mimics your voice, it can fucking track you anywhere now?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Are you a huge cunt?
Us too. Wait, can we even say cunt?
Of course! It's empowering these days. Cunt, 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 cunt. I'm Ange Ballastone, aka the drag queen, That Girl Gina.
And I'm Mike Fales, just a normal gay guy, I guess?
And we're the hosts of The Big Cunty Couch.
A gorgeous new talk show podcast where we invite queers and peers to sit, bitch, and be fierce on a huge-ass couch.
While we gab about all things gay.
So come get cozy.
And cunty.
With us. We're panned for platforms, so find us anywhere online and get listening, sweetie.
Or watching.
Or both.
Otherwise, why the hell am I in full drag?
And we'll see you on the big... Oh, wait. I thought we were going to say that together.
No. On the Big Cunty Couch. Mwah.
I don't know, because I've heard that, but at the same time, I've heard people have encountered them, heard themselves, left. They weren't taunting, they weren't anything, they were just around and it happened, and nothing ever came of it after. I would assume it's more of if you're taunting it, if you're trying to coax it out, trying to, get it to come to you at that point, yeah, it's going to follow you because you've now made it known that you're hey, I want you. Come here.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like, oh, if you taunt me, I'm going to come for you. But if I just stumble across you, I might let you, be. I really don't know, because there's no rule set for it. There's no, this is what to do around them. This is what not to do. I mean, there's people that speculate that shit, but nothing really definitive.
I don't know, man. That's the fucking thing. Let me ask you one of my hypotheticals.
All right.
So, giant locked up arena. One in, there's two go in, one comes out alive. Skinwalker versus a Wendigo. What do you think is going to win?
I feel like the Wendigo would win that one.
Yeah, because the Skinwalker is just a fucking evil human that can shape in and out. The Wendigo has pretty much the same abilities as a Skinwalker, but the only thing different is it's driven by hunger. So it's basically a person who committed like a sin against nature. It's like a forest or like some wooded area or some shit. And then nature turned it into that weird creature that's always hungry for flesh, but it's never full. But I would also assume that the Wendigo would not retain its like logical thinking. I would assume it takes on like the fucking like thinking of like an animal or some shit. Whereas the Skinwalker can transform in and out, but retains all its intelligence.
I would call a Wendigo semi-intelligent. I would say it still has some thoughts, some intelligence, but not fully, because it's always, it's always hungry. So it's driven more, by the food.
By animalistic kind of wanting to fucking eat everything.
So I would almost go with, what's that fucking movie? Land of the Dead style zombie.
Okay.
Where they're dead, but they've learned to communicate. Yes, they still have the hunger for flesh, but at the same time, if they need to distract themselves from it to survive, they're able to.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to ask the fucking AI to see what they think.
All right. Well, you asked the AI. I would like to ask all of our listeners. One, again, feel free to join the Discord. We will chat with you on there. We'll get conversations going. Or, again, if you have any answers to any of these questions, put them in there. But 2 questions. One, what would you do if you found yourself in the presence of a Skinwalker? And the other question is, if you know anyone that has informed you that they've had an encounter with a Skinwalker, please send them our way, because we'd love to hear their story and either be able to have them on as a guest or have them send us their story so we could tell it. Because that's something that we love doing, is hearing people's stories and getting to share them. So, anyone out there that has a Skinwalker story, let us know. Anyone out there that knows someone that's been involved with a Skinwalker, let us know. Or if you know someone that says they are a Skinwalker, get in contact with us.
Okay, so after asking the AI fucking sucks. It goes full circle to not answer the fucking question. So I said, who would win in a fight, a Skinwalker or a Wendigo? AI said, I don't think either of them would win in a fight because they're both fictional creatures. If they were real, who would win? I still can't give an answer because it's impossible to know who would win in a fight between 2 fictional creatures. I put, just pick one. I'm sorry, but I can't pick one because I don't have enough information about their strengths and weaknesses. I put, just pick one randomly. Alright, if I had to pick one randomly, I would say the Skinwalker would win. I put, why? I think the Skinwalker would win because they have the ability to transform into different animals, which would give them an advantage in a fight. Which, I mean, technically, that is kind of true. Because you can shift from a bird into a tree, and then when the Wendigo starts coming after you, just drop onto it like a fucking bear or some shit. Well, I don't know. Because like I said, I don't think the Wendigo would retain intelligence. I would assume it's just a fucking mindless creature that's hungry for flesh. But at the same time, if you are not in a human form, if you're like an animal or like a bird or some shit, because you got to assume that they're in nature around like all these creatures and shit. Do they eat the creatures, or are they only out for human flesh? Which is kind of why they... I mean, I already explained it, that basically a Wendigo is just a person who committed a sin against nature. So, like, if they ate a person because they're, like, stuck out there, then you would turn into, like, a Wendigo. So, cannibalism. So, would the cannibalism continue where you only eat human flesh?
I don't know, because how would that work? Because there's tribes that do cannibalism. And then look at the Donner Party back in the day. They had to eat each other to survive, so did any of them become Wendigos? I mean, they were...
Did anybody survive that?
I believe so.
Hold on. Riff while I try to check this out.
No, I do believe that the Donner Party was did have a couple survivors. Well, sorry. I believe they had like one or two, I think. But like I said, I mean, because that's cannibalism in nature. You have a bunch of different tribes, be it African tribes in rural places in like Indonesia, Amazonian tribes that, you know, we haven't had contact with them. We don't know how they work, what they do, so they could have cannibalistic tendencies, but it's hard to say. I don't really know.
There's a bunch of survivors. So, out of 81 members, 45 of them survived.
Well, then I say we leave it to the listeners. Again, which do you think would win, a Skinwalker or Wendigo?
Also, send me cool pictures of Wendigos.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with this, but I would like to see cool pictures of Wendigos.
Right.
And Skinwalkers.
And then, like I said, if you have any Skinwalker stories, any Skinwalker knowledge you can throw in, any Skinwalker knowledge would be greatly appreciated.
Yep. Well, that seems to be it for this. Unless you want to play another game of hypotheticals, but I think the listeners got tired of that.
Yeah, no, we this is one of those like the Black-Eyed Children that's kind of hard to delve super deep into, at least at the moment.
Because it's kind of hard to find information on this stuff. Like, we can get like the lore of what they are, but it's kind of harder to find like cases and like videos and shit like that. So it leaves it more open-ended.
But we'll keep our eyes and ears open, and, you know, if we get enough to do deeper delves into them, that's what we'll do.
All right, guys. That sounds like it's about it for this episode. So until next time, we'll see you in Helheim. Bum bum.